Fight Fiend Forecast. I'm Joseph, the host, back for UFC Vegas 87, and this is the full card prediction show. These are my leans, my predictions, and I'm going to go through each and every fight. We only got 10 of them, and 4 cancellations now at this point, and I'm assuming they're looking for a short notice opponent for Muhammad Yaha, Vinicius Oliveira. I mean, Gamori withdrew, and Marate withdrew, so I mean, they should be able to find a short notice opponent for one of those guys. If not, like, we got 10 fights, and we're going to break it down right here. I'm not here to waste your time. We're not going to talk about last week. I was 100% up until the locks of the week, the last 2 fights of the night. And then, yeah. So we're going to take those losses, turn them into lessons, make our money back here at the Apex. So make sure to smash that like button if you love the videos, and suplex the subscribe button if you're tuning in each and every week. I really appreciate that support. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers now, where I'm going to give out some money to more than one winner. So all what you got to do is join Discord, absolutely free. The giveaway bot will be set up in there. Suplex the subscribe button right now. We're going to get right into this card. Not here to waste your time, like I said. We're going to start it off with the very first fight of the night. And we got another Tajikistan. Not sure if this is actually the first fight of the night, but I'm hoping it is. Rather, if this is the first fight or not, we're going to start it off with the Tajikistan native, Loik, the Tajik tank, Radzhabov, against Abdul Karim Al-Selwady. And that is one long name. This guy is the pride of Palestine, and he's the first ever Palestine fighter inside the UFC here, so he's going to try to make a name for himself. He's probably pretty hungry. He's on a 5-fight winning streak. But I don't know if he's going to be able to finish a guy like Loik Radzhabov. I know Mateusz Rebecki finished him in round 2, but Rebecki is levels ahead of Al-Selwady in this fight here. And Abdul Karim Al-Selwady, although he is tough, he has 3 knockout losses, so his chin is a question mark. He's a very inaccurate striker with high volume, so if this fight goes the distance, I'd probably rather side with the guy who's going to be more accurate and knows how to win a fight now. He's fought 9 fights inside the PFL. This is his 3rd fight inside the UFC. He has more credible experience in my opinion, but at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. This is a fist fight. And the pride of Palestine has 8 knockout wins, and a lot of people are going to be thinking maybe he can get the knockout. If not, he'll just win the decision. Now, I already warned you, the decision's going to be a little bit scary. He throws a lot of volume, but he's inaccurate. And his last knockout win was to a 14-11 opponent that's 37 years old. Now, I don't think he's getting the knockout either. I'd actually rather side with the underdog in this fight. First one of the night. I think another Tajikistan native is going to get his hand raised here. And this guy is also a finisher. He has 5 submission wins, 7 knockout wins, 20-6, 4-0. So there is potential for a finish in this fight. The spotlight and the determination to win for the pride of Palestine. And then you got a guy that's just wanting to keep his job. Loik Radzhabov, the Tajik tank. I think he's going to be able to get it done here as an underdog, honestly. If he doesn't get the finish, he should be more accurate, not with his strikes, but with his takedowns. He averages 7 takedowns. And I don't know if Al-Selwady can stop the takedowns. With a lot of unknowns in this fight, and a guy that's unproven, as a favorite, I'll go with the underdog in this fight, but I probably won't have too much action in it, and I wouldn't be putting it in parlays, that's for sure. And next up, I'm going to be forecasting Christian Leroy Duncan and Claudio Ribeiro, and I expect to finish in this one 100%, under 1.5 probably. These 2 boys are going to throw down, center of the octagon, first round. Now, Christian Leroy Duncan, former Cage Warriors champion, coming off a win to Denis Tululin in the 2nd round by elbows and punches. Now, this guy, he's super accurate, and he has a lot of spinning attacks, flying knees. He's super creative in there. And he's dangerous, super dangerous. But if you look at Claudio Ribeiro, he's dangerous as well. Only on the feet, though. 11 knockout wins. But to who? Joseph Holmes in round 2? That doesn't quite impress me. You got knocked out in round 2 to Roman Kopylov only 7 months ago. And that was stone cold, man. He went down really hard. And after a knockout loss like that, I think it's not going to take much for him to get knocked out again here. Chin is going to be suspect. The durability isn't going to be there. Christian Leroy Duncan, who is also good with the high kicks, low kicks, all the creative attacks, is going to be able to find something. He's going to be able to find it early. And this is a fairly confident pick for me as well. And next up, we got some line movement here. And I don't know if I agree with it totally. Like, not at all. Javid Basharat and Aiemann Zahabi, the Canadian from Montreal, training with his father, very well trained, well experienced. But is he ever inactive in his career? Now, that's what's going to hurt him here. Javid Basharat, the younger fighter, much younger, is very active. And he's training super hard with high-level guys. Now, it's going to take a lot to beat a guy like this. You know, his striking needs some work. And that's why 550 is a big price tag here. Zahabi coming off a big knockout win. He's going to be looking to strike in this fight and load up with that power, just like he did in the first round against Eryk Kulang. And he knocked him out cold. So it's not like he just is going to catch you. He has power in his punches, and you can't just get hit. And Javid Basharat does have a good striking defense, but Aiemann Zahabi has a great striking defense as well. So I don't know if this fight's going to take part on the feet too long. I would have to think the prospect, who's a huge favorite here, is going to take this fight to the mat, get the controlled time. Now, we see refs try to split that up, get them back up on their feet. If that happens, it's going to be a problem for this huge favorite, Javid Basharat. Maybe he's working on the striking, though. Maybe. He's trained with a lot of high-level guys at Extreme Couture. Expect him to win this fight. Now, when we seen line movement like this last week, Buddy rolled his ankle and got finished up against the fence after a spinning wheel kick. So, someone knew something, in my opinion, there. Why else would you see such significant line movement? I haven't seen that much line movement since I did the line movement tracker. Now that I'm doing it, I'm going to be aware to it. Now, somebody must know something about Javid Basharat in this fight. He's going to dominate, and there's no doubt about that. He's looked great so far in the UFC, on a roll right now, 3-0-1. But that groin kick to Victor Henry, he needs to smarten up a bit and pick better spots to fire those weapons, because that groin kick did not look nice. So yeah, Basharat's just going to do what he does. Win a decision here. And next up, before we keep on going with the forecast, and please smash that like button, suplex the subscribe button, crack one, hack one, and we're going to smack one here on this card here. UFC Vegas 87 at the Apex. There's no doubt about that. And the next fight on the prelims, we're taking a look at Eryk Anders and Jamie Pickett. And how is Jamie Pickett still here? He lost his last 4 fights, and a unanimous decision loss to Josh Fremd was not a good look. Like, it wasn't a good look at all. Now, I know Eryk Anders is coming off a unanimous decision as well, but it was to Marc-Andre Barrios in Canada. I don't think he's going to lose this one. He had a knockout win against Kyle Daukaus in the second round. Jamie Pickett got submitted to Kyle Daukaus. That's some MMA math for you here. Eryk Anders is probably live for that knockout shot. Jamie Pickett is not UFC caliber. We keep learning that time and time again. Stop wasting your money on this guy. He lost his last 4 fights. His last win was to Joseph Holmes, another guy that, if you beat him, it's nothing special, man. Joseph Holmes is not UFC caliber either. So I mean, it was a unanimous decision win. Starpoli beat that guy. Unanimous decision as well, so his last 2 wins, not even finding the knockout shot, not even getting the fight to the ground and having success. Now he has a 5-inch reach advantage here. He looks like a specimen, but he's 13-10, and he's not UFC caliber. Like, I don't know why he's here. I don't know why I have to forecast this fight. I hope Eryk Anders knocks this guy out and just sends him along the way. But if not, Eryk Anders will win the decision, no doubt about that. And next up, I'm forecasting a fight that shouldn't be a fight, honestly, but we're going to forecast it. We got an 8-1 favorite, Umar Nurmagomedov, and Bekzat Almakhan, 17-1. Bekzat, this dude is looking good on tape. Not going to lie, not looking bad. But he's 26 years old, and he has not fought the level of competition as Umar. He's not in the training room with the level of guys that Umar is. He's not projected to be a bantamweight champion like Umar is. The odds are 8-1 for a reason here, guys. This guy's not going to stand a chance. I don't see this fight going the distance. I want to believe that this fight could go the distance, but I can't come on here and lie to you guys. Like, you're my forecasters. I want to be as honest as possible and just talk these fights out how I see them happening. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like, I can't be right on each and every fight, but in this fight here, I see Umar absolutely dominating. This is another fight where I wouldn't be surprised if a guy that dominates the grappling comes in here and keeps it on the feet. He just knocked out Raoni Barcelos, who is tough and durable, a lot of experience as well, very first round. And that was a vicious body kick and punch. And I could see kind of the same situation play out here. Bekzat's the type of guy that loves to strike. He's in and out, feints, he's quick, loves to knock guys out. 13 knockout wins, but the guys he is knocking out are 15-5, 12-4, 12-4 again, 10-3, 11-6, 7-9. I mean, this dude ain't beating Umar. And if he's going to try to keep it on the feet, he's probably going to get countered, or he's just going to get sniped. Umar made easy work of Raoni Barcelos' body kick punch round 1. Like, if he doesn't do that again here, he gets the fight to the ground and he submits him. Easy work, rear naked choke for Umar Nurmagomedov, who has 6 out of 7 wins by rear naked choke. He's probably not going to change his game plan up too much, especially against a prospect that he doesn't know a whole lot about. He'll keep it easy. It should be light work for the Russian Umar Nurmagomedov. We're going to take a look at Matt Schnell and Steve Erceg, the guy from The Office, who does not look like he fights MMA, but this guy's pretty good. 11-1. I believe he has a number beside his name now, and he's a sizable favorite. I think the bookies got it right, but you know, he hasn't really proved to me that he can finish his opponents in a division that's very tough to get finishes, flyweight, as we all know. Fuck's sakes. Erceg, you know, probably wins this by a decision. I just don't see the finishing potential. Matt Schnell's chin is diminishing, but he's still durable and tough as hell. He came back in one fight against Sumaderji and found his famous triangle choke. Schnell's the type of guy that if he does survive, he's going to look for his triangle choke. That's the only way he can finish the fight on the ground. His last 3 or 4 submission wins all by triangle. But other than surviving that Sumaderji fight, he only submitted a 14-5 opponent, a 15-5 opponent. Not the highest caliber. Like, just not going to get it done against 11-1 Steve Erceg, who's just getting his feet under him in the UFC here. Looking pretty sharp, too. 2-0 in the UFC, undefeated right now. And this guy has not lost since his second fight in 2017 by a decision. He's a guy that will fight for your right to party, and he'll get it done here by a decision. His finishes, I'm going to talk about him real quick. He only knocked out a guy that was 5-4 in the first round, and that was in 2019. I don't believe he can knock out Matt Schnell, but he can definitely be more accurate, keep it at distance, and play this super safe. He has a high IQ. Grind out this decision, and we'll get paid. Steve Erceg by a decision. That's my forecast once again. Until he can prove to me that he has finishing potential, this would be the fight. I'm going to consider him a decision dominator. Now, if I'm going to play it by finish, it's Steve Erceg by submission because, like I said, he has 1 knockout win. Not good, 5-4, right? But his submission wins, 1-5, 4-1, 7-5, 12-4. Who the fuck am I kidding? He's winning this by a decision. And next up, forecasters, we got Alex Perez and Muhammad Mokaev back in the octagon. 10-0 professionally and 5-0 in the UFC. He's going to keep it rolling here. A lot of us wanted to go Tim Elliott. A lot of us wanted to go Tim Elliott with the experience. But, you know, this is your chance. Get a $350 ticket here on Alex Perez. He has a lot of experience too. Only thing is, inactive as hell. More canceled fights than fights that he's actually been in the last 2 years. This is a tough guy to trust here. Alex Perez, man. Like, canceled to Manel Kopp, canceled to Kai Kara-France, canceled to Amir Albazi, canceled twice to Askar Askarov, canceled 4 times to Matt Schnell. Probably because he doesn't want to get submitted, right? His last 2 losses come by submission. Very first round to a guillotine choke and rear naked choke. The opponents, though, pretty high level. Alexander Pantoja, 24-5, now the champion. And Devison Figueiredo, former champion, 19-1 at the time. Is Mokaev like that caliber? I don't know if he's going to get it done in the first round, but maybe. Perez has proved to us that his submission defense is not good. He continues to struggle, and the UFC continues to give him tough matchups. One thing I do want to note, though, last year, Perez was active in a grappling tournament, and the fight went to a draw. Nothing crazy there. Maybe he can defend some submissions, but I can't trust it. Muhammad Mokaev by submission is usually the play for me. I wouldn't call you crazy searching for a knockout prop in this one either. Mokaev on the feet probably has something to prove. I've seen moments on the feet that he's been good. He's definitely going to be the faster, sharper striker in this fight, in my opinion. He is a little bit less experienced than Perez. He is a lot younger, though. Tons of cardio in the tank. And in my opinion, he's going to look tremendous in this fight as he's looking to be a champion in the flyweight division someday. And if he does dominate this fight, it's going to be hard to disagree with him being a champion someday. Pantoja, like I said, submitted this guy in the very first round. But if this goes into the third round, goes to a decision, Mokaev does still have some work to do. He is 23, and he has a lot of time to still improve. He's been improving each and every fight, and I just think he's going to want it way too much. Although Perez is coming off 2 losses, he'll be hungry in his own right. 31 years old, still in his prime. I just don't think the confidence level is there for him. And Mokaev having all the confidence in the world, knowing that he can just walk right through you, is a problem. And next up in the co-main event, we got Vitor Petrino and Tyson Pedro. And this fight is going to be fireworks for a co-main event spot. 2 finishers here in a small octagon. Like I said, it's at the apex. Not much room to move around and work there. Close quarters. Someone's going to get knocked out here. Maybe submitted. Tyson Pedro, his grappling defense, kind of questionable. If he can keep it on the feet, he's going to be a powerful striker, bombing away. But his gas tank is questionable. Like, he probably doesn't have the cardio to go with a 26-year-old. And when he gets hit, I don't know if he's going to survive. Shogun Rua knocked him out in 2018, third round, where he was gassing out and got clipped. He got submitted in the very first round to Ovin St. Peru, also in 2018. Those fights were 6 years ago, so I don't know if we can take much from the losses, but we do know he does gas. And we know his durability might not be able to hold up against a young finisher here. His wins, Ike Villanueva, first round knockout. Harry Hunsucker, first round knockout. And Anton, the Pleasure Man, Turkalji, first round jab and cross with the hammer fist there. And those 3 wins don't surprise me whatsoever. I think I had Tyson Pedro in all those fights. I thought they favored him. I believed he could get the knockout, and he did. But his loss to Modestas Bacchus, I had him in that fight, and he was home in Australia, and he fucking gassed, and he was inaccurate, and he did not have the best fight. Maybe he wasn't feeling good, but I think Modestas Bacchus was putting on the pressure, being a little bit too accurate, and Pedro did not want to be in there. He's not going to want to be in there with Vitor Petrino, especially because Petrino just proved that Bacchus is a bum and knocked his ass out in the second round. Proved how high level his striking is and how powerful he is. Pedro ain't going to want to be in there too long. He ain't going to want to be in there too long with Vitor Petrino. Knocked out Bacchus. Fucking cold. But at the end of the day, we just got to be a little bit careful because Petrino might want to take this fight to the ground. He's pretty good on the ground too. He took Prachnio to the ground in the third round, found the arm triangle choke. Surprised us all. You know, he won a decision in his first fight against Anton Turkalj. Not the best. Probably should have finished that little fucker. But in his UFC debut, though, he wasn't able to find the finish against the Pleasure Man, who Pedro just knocked out in the first round. So, I mean, MMA math all over the place here, but I kind of agree with the Bacchus fight more than the Turkalj fight. The Pleasure Man is so unpredictable. I don't think he's UFC caliber. And the fact that he took Petrino to a decision kind of shocked me. He probably overperformed in that fight. And although Petrino didn't find the finish in his debut on the Contender Series, he looked hella good finding the second round finish to Rodolfo Bellato with the left hook. You know, those check hooks are pretty dangerous. He's going to be looking for them. And I'm forecasting that Petrino's going to end this fight with another counter left hook. Or he's going to take it to the ground, maybe look for an arm triangle choke, or just a rear naked choke. That's my forecast. Petrino by finish. Pretty high confidence play for me this week. And next up, we got the main event of the evening. And I have yet to take an underdog. I mean, how could I? These odds are very wide. Bookmakers are pretty sharp to it this week. I mean, they have a lot of the fights priced correctly, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit too wide on some of them. But this last fight here, I think it's priced perfectly. But the only thing is, the last fight of the night, I don't think I predicted right in the last 3 weeks. So, I'm just going to take a deep breath. Well, after doing all my research and tape study, I'd go with who I would think is going to win. Simple as that, right? I don't just listen to somebody's picks and agree with them on every fight. Like, I have my own opinion on these fights, and I see them going a certain way. Now, I'm not going to do anything crazy here to change my pick. I'm just going to ride with it after doing the research. And I got the underdog. I think Rozenstruik is going to knock out this prospect in the very first round. Gaziev knocked out Martin Buday, who is fat, slow, doesn't really have that much power either, man. Like, Martin Buday has not been around the block like Rozenstruik. Rozenstruik has fought the who's who, and if you can get past him, like, you know you're en route to, like, top 5 in the UFC. I don't believe Shamil Gaziev is top 5 in the UFC. Where is he coming from? Like, Bahrain or something like that? Like, I don't believe in him whatsoever. We've seen so much from Jairzinho, Rozenstruik. We know the power's there. And we got to think, at 35 years old, he's fighting a 34-year-old. There's no big age gap. He's just going to do what he does. Big power shot, first round, sleep this guy who's never seen this kind of power before. Who does not want to get hit from a guy like Rozenstruik. Trust me, once he gets hit, he's turning around and he's going out that fucking octagon door. This is honestly my strongest lean on an underdog in quite some time. I just don't believe in Shamil Gaziev whatsoever, and that's just what it is. His second last fight, he was on the Contender Series fighting a guy that was 6-0. Before that, knocked out a guy that was 17-5. Knocked out a guy that was 4-1 before that. Split decision to a guy that was 13-0, but a padded 13-0. Like, you got to look into that, right? And then his other win before that, 0-0. He submitted that guy. 2-0, 1-0, 0-0, 1-4. Like, fucking, you're telling me he's the favorite in this fight against Rozenstruik? If you're telling me you don't believe in Rozenstruik because he got taken down and submitted to Jailton Almeida, who's doing that to everybody in the heavyweight division, you're crazy. If you're telling me a knockout punch to Alexander Volkov is going to steer you away from betting Rozenstruik or forecasting him to win this fight, I think you're crazy again. And before that, he lost a decision to Curtis Blades, one of the best wrestlers in the division. You think Shamil Gaziev is going to beat Curtis Blades, Alexander Volkov, Jailton Almeida? I don't think so. I think Rozenstruik is way too high of a step up in competition from Martin Buday. Insane odds, take the underdog, most confident underdog lean in quite some time. If it doesn't hit, I am very sorry, forecasters. It's time for a fucking pants beer. I am not going to give you a confident lean like that and just get away with it. I'm going to do a pants beer, my second ever pants beer, a dirty pants beer, if Rozenstruik does not win by knockout in this fight. And that's a wrap, forecasters. But first, comment hashtag forecast of the week. Give me your most confident prop at plus money. I'm going to ride with one of you. I'm going to make the content up. I'll give you a shout out in Discord, on Instagram, on Twitter, on the next show, which is going to be on Thursday. So it's not a Friday show. We're not running through the face-offs. It's going to be a Thursday bets and parlay show. I'm basically just going to give you the forecast of the week, whoever I'm riding with, all of my props of the week, my locks of the week this week for UFC Vegas 87, and then I'll do the parlay parfaits at the end. So join me on Thursday. Smash the like button, suplex the subscribe button if you have not yet. I really appreciate that support. And I'm going to see your forecast of the week in the comments below. Just put hashtag forecast of the week and give me your most confident prop at plus money. It doesn't have to be right now when you're watching the show. You can come back in a couple days. Just drop the comment before Friday. Let's go get it, forecasters. We're going to have another good week here. And we're going to try to be very smart with the lock of the week. We were going 100% right up until the locks last week at UFC Mexico City. And then the locks just did not show up. Literally, one didn't show up. Rosas Jr. called in sick. So this week, I got to do some serious tape study on lock of the week. Got to sleep on it for a night. Don't have it for this show. But it's going to be in Discord absolutely free as soon as I know who the locks are. Patreon's only $5 a month. And on Sunday, I posted my platinum picks with the confidence level, method of victory, round outcome. So yeah, early exclusive access on Patreon and on Discord. And all what you got to do is hit that link in the bio below.